Yo gamers, Axel here, and today I want to talk about this weapon in specific, which is the Kago Tsurube Ishin. So yeah, today I'm going to be talking about this weapon on whether how good it is or not on Keqing, because lately I've been using this on Keqing, and yeah, I've been having a lot of fun with this weapon on Keqing lately, and we're just going to talk about how good this weapon is, and we're also going to be comparing it to other weapons as well. So as you guys can see over here with its refinement effect, when a normal charge or plunging attack hits an opponent, it basically gives us an AoE damage of about 180% of Keqing's attack, and it also gives us 15% more attack damage bonus every 8 seconds. So yeah, this weapon's pretty good. I do want to compare it to other weapons like the flute. So yeah, I have tested this on the flute on whether this is good or not. So yeah, we're also going to be doing some tests on those later. So yeah, so as for the flute, it basically gives us 200% attack damage compared to the Katsurube Ishin, which only gives us about 180. But the Katsurube Ishin also does give us attack with a 15% attack. So I think the flute and this limited event weapon is equal. Now if we compare this limited weapon to the Lion's Roar, for example, you know, since Dendro is now out and Dendro reactions are pretty good with Electro, this weapon doesn't really benefit from elemental reactions, because as you can see over here, it increases damage against opponents affected by Pyro or Electro by 20%. So yeah, the Lion's Roar is pretty good weapon, but it's not good when it comes to elemental reactions. So yeah, you do have to take that into consideration as well. Now if we compare this to the Favonius Sword, which has a energy recharge. Now Keqing doesn't really benefit from energy recharge, because as you guys will see over here, Keqing only has about 40 energy cost when it comes to her burst. So yeah, when it comes to building Keqing, you don't really need that much energy recharge as well. So going for the Favonius sword doesn't really benefit Keqing as much. Now with a sword like the Black Sword, which has a crit rate, I have used this on Keqing, and it fits Keqing pretty well, since it does give us a pretty decent amount of base attack and a pretty decent amount of crit rate as well. I have used this on Keqing for a very long time, and yeah, it's pretty good on Keqing. So if you guys are a whale or even low spender and you have the Black Sword is pretty good on Keqing as well. Now if you have this Freedom Sworn, the Freedom Sworn has about 532 base attack and about 181 elemental mastery. Now the Freedom Sworn is gonna be good on Keqing if you guys are planning on doing Dendro reactions with Electro Keqing, you know, since Dendro is good when it comes to reactions with Electro. So yeah, I would also recommend this Freedom Sworn if you guys have this. Now if you're an F2P, if you don't have any of these 5-star weapons or 4-star weapons, there is a 3-star weapon that you can easily get even refinements with them. Yeah, so as you guys can see over here, it has a pretty decent amount of crit damage. This is only at level 50. This will be more crit damage on level 90. So with this weapon, as you can see over here, its refinement effect, which is when Keqing's HP is above 90%, it increases crit rate by 28%. So yeah, this would be good with Zhongli, because you're not gonna get below 90% HP because of Zhongli's shield. So if you're planning to run Keqing with Zhongli, with the team comp with Zhongli, then the Harbinger of Dawn will be a good weapon for Keqing. Now back to this weapon. We're gonna be talking about this weapon. We're gonna be doing a test on this weapon, since this is the title of the video, the Katsurube Ishin. But before we continue with that, we do also have this weapon, which is the Prototype Rancor, which you can craft. This is a craftable weapon. Now if you're gonna build a physical Keqing, then this weapon is pretty good on Keqing, since it does give us that 31.5 physical damage bonus on level 80. So as you guys can see over here, with this weapon, we're gonna do a little bit of a damage test on this hilichurl over here. If we attack, do a normal attack, it will cause that. So yeah, you can basically do it every 8 seconds. So if we attack the hilichurl again, there we go, 3.2k attack. Now this attack is really good, since it does also do AoE.
Nowhere to hide.
So it's gonna be hitting multiple opponents, so that also has value. You know, since it's not only going to be hitting a single target, it's going to be hitting multiple opponents, so it has a bigger value than that. So yeah, Now compared to the flute, we're just gonna equip the flute over here. We're just gonna switch to that, and we're gonna be doing a test, a damage test on the flute. So yeah, whenever you hit opponents, you gain the 5 harmonics. It'll basically trigger an explosion. Oh wait, we'll try again over here. So if you hit the enemies multiple times, there we go. It triggered an explosion right there. So that's pretty good. And it can last up to 30 seconds, so that's also pretty good. So if you just keep hitting opponents, it's gonna stack that up. And it's going to cause an explosion right there, 3.4k. Now if we compare the flute to the Kagotsurubi Ishin, I would say they're pretty much equal when it comes to DPS. But the Kagotsurubi Ishin is definitely way better than Lion's Roar, because you know, it doesn't benefit, like I said earlier, it doesn't benefit from the elemental reactions. Alright, so now here is a side-by-side comparison of the flute and the Kagotsurubi Ishin. So yeah, we're gonna be comparing these two. So yeah, this is a side-by-side comparison. So let's go.
Let's move out. We're the rebuild. With sword comes shadow. Cut to the chase. Speed of light! Incoming!
So yeah, it's pretty obvious. It would seem that Kagotsurubi Ishin did more damage than the flute over here, which means this limited weapon is definitely better than the flute. So yeah, if you guys have this weapon, then use this, because this is way better than the flute. Although it only has a maximum refinement of about 1, as you guys can see over here. If we try to refine this weapon, it's already maxed out, so it only has a maximum amount of refinement by 1, so you can't refine this anymore. So yeah. Alright, so now we're gonna be doing a comparison with the Kagotsurubi Ishin against the Black Sword. So we're just gonna switch with the Black Sword, and we're gonna do some damage test with this and a side-by-side comparison again. So let's go.
With sword comes shadow. Nowhere to hide. Speed of light. Hey!
So yeah, I think the Black Sword did just as much damage as the, what do you call this, the Kagotsurubi Ishin. So yeah, I would say the Kagotsurubi Ishin and the Black Sword are on par with one another. But the Black Sword does have that refinement effect, which increases damage dealt by the normal and charge attacks by 20%. So that's a 20% more normal and charge attack damage, and it has HP healing as well. It basically regenerates 60% of Keqing's attack as HP, so that's pretty good. A bit of healing for survivability, but I would say the Kagotsurubi Ishin and the Black Sword is pretty much even when it comes to damage. So yeah, if you have the Black Sword or the Kagotsurubi Ishin, they're pretty much the same, so they pretty much do the same damage. So yeah, just pick whichever one you like the most, I would say. Alright, so now if you guys are curious with my Keqing build, it's a pretty standard build. I have Keqing with the 4-piece Thundering Fury. I have this set for the electro damage bonus of 15% and the 4-piece for more elemental reaction damage, and it basically reduces Keqing's elemental cooldown. So yeah, that's pretty good. At Constellations, I have her at C1. The weapon I'm using on Keqing currently is this limited weapon. I'm currently using the Black Sword on my Ayaka. For the talents, I have her Triple Crown, as you guys see over here, 10, 10, 10. And for her overall stats, we have here 24k HP, 1.4k attack, 100 elemental mastery, and her overall stats, which is 62.2 crit rate, 156% crit damage, 178 energy recharge, and about 61.6 electro damage bonus. So yeah, overall this is pretty good build. It's not the best, but it's pretty decent. You know, it can carry me through the abyss because, you know, I do have her talents leveled, and she does carry me with the abyss, especially when I wear the black sword on her and I switch to the crit damage circlet, because right now I have her with crit rate circlet. So yeah, she does help me with carrying with me with the abyss. So yeah, that's also pretty good. So yeah, that's pretty much all my thoughts on this sword, the Kagutsurubi Ishin. It's a pretty decent sword, but you know, it's not, you know, it's not meta breaking or something. It's somewhere in the mid. It's the mid tier. Yeah, the sword's not the best, but it's also not bad. It's a pretty decent sword, and you know, it's free, and yeah, you can get it from the limited event. But if you miss that and you don't have the sword, then the sword that I would recommend would be, yeah, those aforementioned weapons that I mentioned earlier, which is the black sword, the flute, the prototype rancor if you're gonna build Keqing as a physical, the lion's roar if you're not gonna be doing any elemental reactions, because you know the lion's roar is not good when you want elemental reactions with dendro, with electro, with Keqing. And the black sword, did I already mention black sword? But yeah, you get my point. So yeah, if you don't have this weapon, this limited weapon, then I would go for those aforementioned swords that I mentioned earlier. So yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about in this video. Pretty much discussed what I wanted to talk about, everything with Keqing. So yeah, and as always, see you in the next video.